resto se va. Sáquenme la botella que funda pa' gastar. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luces, cámara, la acción, después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile, baby, ese seguro y retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo pa' ti. Lo que tengo pa' ti. Sé que te va a encantar como meto yo.
What is going on, Cowboy Nation? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and after week one of the NFL season, except for one game that's about to happen here in a little bit, we're pretty much almost wrapped up, and if you got your fantasy, you're probably cursing up a storm. We're very, very happy with your pick, and hopefully your team win, except for if you're in our division, then I hope bad things upon you. But anyways, one thing I don't hope bad things upon is my boy, Gametime Bryan. Gametime, what's going on, sir? How are you doing after a Cowboys victory? Oh, I don't hear you.
I'm doing wonderful. There we go. Sorry, I muted because I was talking to my dog while the opening, and then I realized I was on. Anyway, long story short, I'm doing good. There's Jack Meeker. How are you, Jack? I'm doing good. How can we not be doing good after a dominant win on the road?
Definitely.
With all the obstacles that we had in front of us, world against us. I was even against
here, us a little bit.
Dak's gonna get smashed. All the shit talking by the locals about the Tyler Guyton going to get eaten alive, and so on and so on. Now everybody's moving the goalpost on us, but that's what happens when
trust me,
the Dallas Cowboys.
That is a big theme of the day, the moving of the goalpost today. When I look back, I see some of this the stats. I was getting all these flashes, these things coming up, these stats that were coming up about how, I know you mentioned how the tackles, for example, and we'll dive right into it, but the tackles, for example, being out, you mentioned that before we're going into it, and as I mentioned, I look back, this is the exact same tackles they had as they went, on their winning season last year and into the playoffs. So, your tackles could be better, but at the same time, it's not like you're putting in rookies as well. But game time, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think that I think under the circumstances, we got the win, right? And everybody, again, once you really looked into it, Cleveland was missing their tackles, but again, we heard that we lost all those pieces on defense. That's what I really want to focus on, because you knew that the offense. We got out to a hot start, which is always the key. You guys are
enjoying
right?
that way too much.
Yeah, well, it's always the key, but adjustments are made at halftime. Jim Schwartz is a really good football coach, and, we didn't do much in the second half. Either did they. They got most of the yardage, and if you look at the yardage at the end of the game, it kind of reminds me, you look at it, everything's even. Even, first downs are even, yards is real close, but the game was pretty much handshakes at halftime, and that's even with McCarthy screwing up the, having two timeouts in his back pocket, letting the play clock run out. Crazy. But listen, man, we could get into it all, and it was a great first day. We even got better news today with Jake Ferguson. So
yeah,
I'm liking what I'm seeing with the
graphics
chat here.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I like it.
I'm going to change it up a little bit. I wanted to see how it looked like. I'm going to try different colors just because I want to see what stands out a little bit more. I thought maybe with the blue it'll pop, but maybe with a darker background. But no, I really want to.
I would think that, yeah.
I really want to get it involved, and of course, if you've been noticing the emojis going all across the screen and everything, but some of the guys actually helped me test it as one of these days. So here we go, man. I'm trying to change it a little bit and see where we can take this thing.
Yeah, I like it. We got a nice busy chat so far. We got let's see who's in here. We got William Tilton. Hey, what's up, William? We got Isaac Ramirez. Twiz is in the house, his brother.
I like where Lord Nova's going with this, and I got to kind of use his as the segue to it. And as we're just talking about Cleveland having these two tackles, that that were their starters last year. Let's be real. I mean, obviously, there's a difference between Adoga and Tyron Smith. So I can understand that this is our backup, this is our starter. So, but I also understand we had Tyron Smith and he was out for how many times? Nobody gave us that excuse. So you're the Cleveland Browns. You got to kind of have to deal with who you have. But when you're looking at that, we have 2 rookies on our offensive line that had a hell of a day. And you were talking about Myles Garrett, about, the narrative, of course, is that it's going to be a rude awakening for Tyler Guyton as he comes in and is just going to stink it up. And we talked about, what is the threshold to where a defensive end starts, hey, I got 5 sacks, compared to I got 2 sacks. Did he get 2 sacks or was it hurries? I'm not really sure because I know he at least got 1. And I think they counted that one where Dak threw it backwards as a fumble thing. So you look at it and go, they did a lot of jobs. They did a really good job of game planning as well. That's something I don't normally say with Mike McCarthy, even though there has been some moments of us flashing. They definitely put a game plan together to try to help Chip, 12 personnel, roll the whole offensive line to the side. But as I talk about that, tell me, what was your take from our 2 rookie offensive linemen and how they performed in week 1?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it 100. Last night, I got 99% of everything that I saw, which wasn't, I haven't seen the all 22, but from what I gather, Cooper Beebe had a better game than Tyler Guyton. Mm-hmm. Tyler Guyton, again, he's going up against the best. You had Smith he was going up against. He held his own. You got to remember, how many snaps did Cowboys have? And he got beat for, I think, 1.5 sacks.
Well, if you think about it, too, I mean, like, right where you're speaking to kind of jump on that, what was the talent that Cooper Beebe was going against? We weren't talking about that main guy. Like, you're going to be doing later on in this year. He's going to take on a lot of all-pros. But you're right. Myles Garrett, definitely a hard one to – and they left him on his own island at times.
Yeah, which I think that's crazy, but
it is.
Again, it wasn't. I was impressed with Beebe because they have a Pro Bowl guard. Yeah, their tackles are out, but their Pro Bowl guard was still there. And again, we mentioned this, not me. We both mentioned it leading up to the season with Beebe. If he could be that starter, right? If he could turn, go from not being able to having played center since high school. We know he's a great interior lineman in college, but could he be the quarterback of the line? And the fact that Dak had that much room to step up, Cooper Beebe, like I was saying, he gained the line of scrimmage. There wasn't anybody in Dak's face right off the jump. Yep. That quarterback, you'd like to have that couple steps to be able to step up.
Well, that's the thing is, at times I wanted him to step up.
Yeah.
I wanted him to step up, but I think he's so PTSD about stepping up into the pocket that it's going to take some time. And when he commented about Beebe, he mentioned how, this guy already knows how I want to run the huddle, how I want to command everything. It's just, that is great praise from your franchise quarterback. Let's be real.
Yes, and as you saw, he gained the line of scrimmage against a Pro Bowl guard, and those D tackles, they're no joke. You saw Zach Martin get beat.
Yeah, he did, and just got destroyed.
First drive of the game. He almost messed up the new $16 million man. Literally, almost took his head off, but. Again, that just goes to show you how talented that Cleveland's defense is. You can say whatever you want and have revisionist history, move the goalposts about that offense. All of a sudden, now they stink. Okay, well, other teams have to play this quarterback in the near future. We'll see how that works. But,
when Jack Meeker says here, he goes, "Did you hear Trayvon Diggs? It's like 50 calls, different sets, right? Different sets of formations for this defense, which is crazy. They used 3 of them. Mike Zimmer is nasty. Well, I think what's crazy as well, if you ever listen to anything Aaron Rodgers, he talks about that double man gap, that A gap where you're putting 2 linebackers in that double A. There was times where they had like 6 or 7 protectors back there to protect Watson. I think on that D-Law sack, you saw because of that confusion of bringing it up and they just dropped back, the center didn't know who to guard, and it kind of just it just a domino effect of confusion that caused a 4-man rush to actually cause pressure and get that sack. So I think just to see so little of a defense, but to have such a big impact just goes to show you, that's what Zimmer's going to be able to bring, that Swiss Army knife of situation.
Yeah, I heard the same thing, Jack Meeker. Again, what's the important thing is when you get a big lead, Zimmer's just not going to throw all of his...
What's up, Curtis?
He's not going to throw all of his plays out there. Yeah, there he is, everybody. I'm gonna try and find his link.
I donated yesterday as well. So
yeah, I gotta find it. Curtis lost his wife a few days ago. It's a rough time for Curtis. I talked to Curtis on the phone today. Curtis, I'm really sorry, brother. Really, my thoughts and prayers are with you and your kids and your family, man. But yes, I have a Curtis's family has a GoFundMe. I have it posted on my Facebook page. I will try and bring it over here. I know I'm gonna have it on my broadcast tonight when I do the channel member Zoom call for the Monday Night Football. Really, really sorry, Curtis. You're going through a rough time in all aspects of what's going on with you. We don't wish that upon you or anybody. So, but yes, just like things like that, Curtis. It just makes you realize that football it's not. We love the Cowboys, right? But again, we don't have any control over what happens. It's only a game. And people just get way too carried away in their own feelings when it comes to football. So, thinking of you, my man. But yes, I don't know where exactly I was, but that's totally fine. Listen, I'm happy with the overall offense, but what's important to know is there's a lot that we can improve upon. It's not like we come out and played a perfect game and we're sitting back going, oh my God, I don't know if we can play that good. No, we didn't play. We had 11 penalties. Okay, we had a lot of things we could work on. So again, anybody that wanted to write the demise of the Cowboys and said we're going to win 5 games, you're delusional. Dallas is way too talented of a team when healthy, and now you're starting to see what we were talking about. You were starting to, you're seeing about the DeMar being over show. Now I don't know where you want to go with this, so I know you're messing with your stuff.
Yeah, I'm
so
trying to bring this up to see if I can.
Okay, there it is.
I'm trying to see if that worked.
I know Phil could do it.
You got to click it to see. I'm not sure if that worked or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Yes, it worked.
All right, cool.
Yep. Like we need to get that going. Like we need to pay for this funeral. So, I see. You can see Vinny Hagen. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So this is what happens, man. When something happens to one of our own, we need to take care of it. Yeah, just unpin my channel. That's totally fine. Oh, good. You did. Yeah. Good. That's more important. But yeah, Curtis, we're here for you, man. We're here. Just even if this hour, any time that I could live stream, I'd be like, if that puts a smile on your face for a few minutes, that's what it's about. But so I don't know where you want to go exactly, Phil. I don't want to take over and just
I
fly all over the place, but
Well, I kind of was following the chat. I was kind of following the chat and seeing where they were kind of taking us. They were really taking us in the direction of what this game was all about. You had a lot of young guys Thomas? On our team. We were talking about the rookies on the offensive line. There was some scare right there towards the end of the game. Was it the end of the game? Jake Ferguson, of course, going down. When I replayed this game, there was still that part that we're talking about with the Cowboys and that sluggishness in the beginning, whether it was the preseason, whether it was just the Cowboys football, what they like to do in the sense, we're just going to kind of take it easy, see where the game's going, and then we're going to open it up. Right. But the defense led the way. I mean, as much as the offense did look really good, there was a lot of drops, there was a lot of miscommunication. One thing I did like was, again, what you were talking about, the center of the pocket was pushed forward and it wasn't in his face. He was having more issues with the coming around the ends as well, which it makes sense with the talent that they had. But one thing I didn't see, as much as I looked over, I didn't see a lot of problems with Terrence Steele. I wonder if Steele going against Garrett, how that would have been. But at the same time, he had a great game.
Yes. Well, I'm going to keep it 100, people. I was going by the words of a scout. I worked today for at least, I didn't get home till about 2:45, 10 to 3. So, and then I took a nap, which I needed, much needed.
What's up, man?
But yeah, he did very well. He graded out very well, which is that's all I was trying to. You can't people just can't look at our team and just pull out all the negative and go, yeah, but this. Yeah, okay, it's not game time. You have another one coming your way. Lucky to number 3. Chuck, you're the man, my friend. Thank you so much for the support on both channels, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Chuck. Thank you.
He's the father of the mystic. He's the father of the mystic and his scary girlfriend.
Gotta respect the mystic.
Thanks, Chuck. I appreciate you. But yes,
exactly, Jet Li.
He graded out very well. Again, we're looking back to last year. He probably shouldn't have played week 1, but you know how that works. He signs a big deal, and he felt it was structurally okay. Technically, he could have played last year, but he didn't grade out good at all. First game, he graded out well. A BB that was saying that
0 pressures on 36 snaps.
More importantly, Phil, you know this, okay? He's played tackle and guard, but he is a savant. He was calling out the pressure, and Dak was unbelievably impressed with what this kid is doing. He's commanding a huddle, people. This is a guy out of Kansas State.
State.
Again, we call him the juggernaut here, and the dude did his job. I mean, he had arguably the best game on the line as a rookie, never playing that position since high school. That's just ridiculous against a Pro Bowl stud defensive line. So I'm just happy for him. Yeah, I'm happy for Dak because Dak can hang in there instead of rolling out. Phil, that's where you get hurt. Yeah. Rolling out, trying to make something out of nothing. He's got that room to step up. You don't need a lot. You don't need a lot of room. You just need that couple extra steps up the middle just to step into a throw. So I like that. I see the emoji coming across the screen. Very cool.
Well, when you look at what this offensive line did, I was noticing it as well as pointing it out that I saw at least 3 different variations of the silent count being used throughout drives, and I thought that was amazing. Because as a defense, like I've seen teams where that's what they use. The lineman just gives them a little tap, or the quarterback does the leg up in certain situations, or they were using like 3 or 4 different variations, which I thought was great because they're on the road. They don't want a defense to start getting used to the snap count and being able to read it. That to me is advanced offenses. I know it seems so simple and rinky-dinky, but I swear you have to have everybody on the same page, and sometimes it gets so vanilla with something like that, but it can be so game-changing. And so I noticed that. I liked it a lot. That says a lot about the communication between him and the center. I thought maybe we were going to see a little bit more fumbled type of snaps. That doesn't mean anything for the rest of the season, but they did a very good job from center to guard. There were some low ones that I saw Dak needing to kind of reach down there and grab, but nothing at it, and that wasn't at his wheelhouse. So when I saw the rest, let's go continue with the offense because I want to jump to Jake Ferguson. That one to me, I heard later on he was walking around, some ice on the knee, going to the bus and everything. So obviously the next day, what did you hear?
Jake Ferguson, it's a bone bruise. It's not what people have to understand about when you hear the word MCL tear, sprain, it's a slight tear or a fraying of the MCL. That's not what he has, supposedly. I'm hearing conflicting reports. Stephen Jones came out and said it's a bone bruise. So, again, I personally don't expect him to play Sunday. I don't. But they're not rolling him out. That should tell you that that's a good sign. They're not ruling him out, and I would definitely side on the on the side of caution. Me personally, but we'll see. If he's good to go, he's good to go. He won't be 100% on Monday, but I kind of think that. I mean, we dodged a bullet, right? That's all we were asking for. Like I said, a prayer just about, hoping there wasn't a season ender before it got started, and it's not. So, thank you. It's nowhere near as
he
bad
mentioned
as
when he was talking about it, he was mentioning how he was wanting to come back in, but they kind of kept him out.
Gently, I thought so too, and that's what they're reporting. But Stephen Jones says it's not. So again. If it is a sprained MCL, it's not. It's a week to week, a game to game. It's more of a pain.
And you're right, Glitter, man. It says it looked like a season-ending injury, and those are the ones, those simple ones. Yes. That's how overshown. That's how those are. I mean, you're not expecting something. You just a little bit of how you're dropping. It's the stupidest thing sometimes, but that's what does the major damage. And Garrett's right. We dodged Thomas Garrett's right. We dodged a major bullet there. So they're talking about Audrey. They're talking about how they had faith that he could have probably hit that 71-yard field goal. What do you think?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, it was funny. I was listening to who was it? Who was Bobby? Not Bobby. Was it Bobby Belt? Yeah, it was Bobby Belt. Bobby was I don't know if it was Bobby. I think it was Bobby. He was in the stadium. One of the Dallas guys was in the stadium, and they moved under the goalposts and up for the 66-yarder, and he nailed it or whatever, or that same play, and then they backed it up 5, and he was hoping. He was there with his camera. He was hoping. Here's the problem. When you do that, I didn't have a problem with if it was an end of game.
Well, they had it at the end of the half. It was at the end of the half. It was at the end of the half.
I know.
I just don't mind it if it means more on the points, because I just don't want to strain him. I don't think it's not that he's not capable. I just don't want to strain the leg,
I didn't want to give them any hope going into the halftime. So as much as it was a bummer that we didn't get anything,
you never know what kind of stupidity is going to happen.
I didn't want to give them because they have a really good athlete in the end zone, right? Mm-hmm. For some reason that ball's coming short. He's going up against a special teams unit.
Well, maybe that's something they decided. They kind of they looked at Bones. Have we practiced defending that? It's like, no, we really haven't. Maybe we should get on that. Let's go ahead and bring everybody back in. I get that. I mean, it's more of an entertainment thing that I think they really kind of wanted to do it for shits and giggles by that point.
Yeah.
Jack Meeker says, "Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead."
No. Yeah, Turpentine finally got his in a real game. A scary returner coupled with an elite kicker. Our special teams are tight. Well, that's what we talked about. Again, I don't like making blanket statements, and I want to make that clear. After this game, we get 24 hours. It's basically right about now.
Very close, yep.
This is our enjoyable time, but I'm not saying Super Bowl or any kind of.
Nope. I'm just happy about the team. Yeah,
I'm happy about the game, and I'm excited to go every week with these young guys and see where they could go. These are the young guys that we were talking about. This is the special team unit that I said arguably might be the best in the league. And people go, here we go. I'm not flexing over a damn field goal kicker and, a kick returner, but I am, because when you got a kicker that all you need to do is get to the 50-yard line, you got to remember, guys, if we get the ball at the 35-yard line or the 30-yard line on a touchback, you need 20 yards, and you are in his field goal. You actually don't even need 20 yards.
See, he's kicked
266. Yeah. He's kicked 266-yard field goals. That's basically the 50-yard line.
Yeah, to me, I'm whipping that out maybe like at the end of a game, whole situation.
But
it's all about timing. It's all about the timing on that.
Think about it though. Like if they,
it's crazy.
Like
it
F
is
up
really
and kick
crazy.
the ball out of bounds, you get the ball at the 40-yard line.
I never really thought we would have a
You're
good
10 yards
kicker.
away from a field goal.
How long has it been since we've had a great kicker?
It was since Danny. What's his name?
Dan Bailey.
Bailey.
Nick Folk was
Dan
kind
Bailey.
of, and then he got him.
Dan Bailey was this guy, but not quite.
Yeah.
As far as leg power.
This dude got some.
This guy didn't play college football, people. Does anybody realize he did not play college football? He's a soccer player who went to the USFL on a tryout or XFL, one of the two. And he's been doing MLS. Exactly. Yassine, you got it.
How they don't go more towards that is kind of crazy.
Well, and what makes it special? He's a local guy. He grew up right down the street from from the Frisco. That's what's cool. He grew up 25 minutes away from the Star. Could you imagine? Never playing football in your life, you being an MLS guy, and now he's going to turn it into. I'm sorry, he's up there with Justin Tucker. He's up there. That's how good this kid is. He could all change in a heartbeat. We don't know his mental, but he seems like he's locked down. What's up, Coles Cowboys? If I'm missing anybody, Phil's hitting all the buttons for your chat. So, Jet Li, what's up? The kick that a 66 against the Raiders, and they said it would have been good in 72. Yes, I agree. Thomas Garrett, Trent Seager has been selected to do a drug test. Why?
Because he was kicking ass during all those special teams thing, man. He was shooting it out, and he was getting down there in tackles, and I was just like, dang.
Again, if you're gonna tell me where we struggled, even though looking back, he averaged 49 yards.
Punting,
is our punter. I thought maybe it was a little bit suspect there, but
that's you're right. I know what you're about to say. That's one game out of how many he has actually been amazing in. And there was some times where he did pin them down deep, but there was like 3 or 4 of them where you're just like, all right, dude, you kind of outkicked your coverage, or the kick wasn't that great to begin with.
Yeah. Listen, it was an impactful first game, but what we were saying, remember like that? Let me ask everybody a question, people, and I don't really know where Phil wants to go, but I want to go here. I think we've talked about the offensive line. I'll briefly talk about the receiver. CD, you had to know. Like CD made a comment after the game saying that was his preseason. He's only going to get better, and he's going to go. So expect him to go off this week. I'm just telling you now.
I feel like a lot of them are like that.
Yeah,
because when I look back,
especially CD, he wasn't even in a camp.
Oh God, yeah, that wasn't. Yeah,
he was on the beach.
He looked good still, though. Yeah, he still looked.
Yeah, well. But he even said, if you notice, a lot of the guys were going to get IVs. We were all concerned watching the game. Why they go? I don't know what's going on. It was in the 60s there, but that just goes to show you
they're not used to the length of time doing it.
You cannot replicate what your muscles go through when you're letting it loose. What's up, Dustin Bosley? Yeah, Dustin, you're a winner on my channel, bro. I picked your name out, so just we'll talk about it on my. Well, like when I go live at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's where we're going to shift real quick because I want to kind of get this going for the defense, because I think the defense definitely deserves its own segment for here. And Jet Li kind of starts this off because I was trying to figure out, okay, who do I feature? I mean, Eric Kendricks was doing this and everything, but Jet Li has one. He goes, the speed of Overshone is amazing. I love watching him in Texas.
Yeah, I did hear that.
That one I would definitely say that surprised me.
That's what I wanted to transition to. Yeah, we were talking, with the offense. We basically covered it. Just to wrap up the offense real quick, I think the running backs were, 4 yards a carry. That's nice, right? 4 yards a carry. Zeke did what he wants. Zeke had 10 carries. We didn't do what we wanted to do in the second half, but at the end, I thought it was good. Yeah. It's only going to get better. You got to realize the defense that we went upon. So that's what a true running back by committee is. I wish we would have maybe had more success in the second half. But again, it is what it is. Tolbert didn't do much, but Jalen Brooks had a grab. And Brandon Cooks. Everybody wants to, write his eulogy. Brandon Cooks and Dak were going off towards the end of last year. They carried it over. He was in the Dak yard a lot this offseason. So again, Brandon Cooks, he's a good number 2. Is he Devontae Smith? No. But he's good. So, but moving over to the defense, Phil, that's where what we were talking about. If Overshone, it turns out to be a Pro Bowler, right? And Mozzie is a serviceable guy, right? Schoonmaker is a serviceable guy. all of a sudden now we're looking at last year's draft like it's not that bad. You know what I mean? Overshown was all over the field. Overshown, they said his 10-yard shuttle is that of Micah Parsons. Did you see him flying all over the field from sideline to sideline?
Well, that's
his first game in the NFL, people.
Well, that's what got me was because I was watching Deshaun. Well, I was watching Deshaun Watson go around the corner, and I was watching also Deshaun Watson get around and get away from people. Not saying Michael Vick-ish, but kind of where he's elusive and he's hard to sack. You were seeing that with Parsons. I think Parsons had like 3 sacks possibilities, but they kept slipping out. And so for me, I was like, okay, he's definitely going a little bit faster, and you need those pursuit angles. But when he was rolling out, man, Overshown just closed that gap with speed. Like,
again, that's what we were trying to say, and nobody that doesn't follow the Cowboys understands what I was trying to say. Our defense is going to be better, people. Now, do you believe me? I know it's only a 1 game, but it's going to be better. People, we were giving up chunk running yards last year. I understand they didn't have Nick Chubb, but Ford's not a bad back. We weren't giving anybody any room. We weren't even giving Deshaun Watson much room. They got all their yards in the second half when you can kind of tell they were emotionally drained and physically drained, Dallas, and their intensity wasn't quite as there. Well, as it was in the first half. But Overshown, they said that he covered 15 yards in 2.4 seconds. Think about that.
And it's not like he's Marquise Bell running that speed. He's a big dude kind of running at that speed. So when he hits you, you're not going to just kind of shake him off most times. I mean, I did see it in college. I can say it's not capable. That's would be a flat lie. But with all the extra, he is bigger than he was in college. But man, there's a lot of weight coming behind that speed.
Take it game by game, man. They're young, man. This team is young. Phil said it. Micah Parsons had 9 QB pressures, which led the NFL in week 1.
But then I look at his plays, and there was so many times he was taking plays off where he give and so there's a lot to be desired,
D-Law was an absolute beast out there. And oh, by the way, do you know who was number 2 in pressures on the team? That would be one Marshawn Nealand with 6 quarterback pressures.
It was quiet.
He's a guy that we weren't.
Quiet assassin.
What's that?
No, it was a silent assassin, just quiet.
We weren't. I mean, we didn't know what we had. We knew he was a solid run defender who was going to hold the point of attack, not collapse on the outside like we see far too often. He's a keeper. After 1 week, I mean, he's everything that we thought going up against. I mean, listen, I get it. They didn't have their tackles, but they do have Pro Bowlers on the interior. I thought we did well. You can't have it one way just a few days ago, and say, oh, well, they have like Elijah Moore. They have
Jerry Jeudy, they have
Jerry
Amari
Jeudy,
Cooper. Hey, okay, let's do that. As we're talking about it,
I heard that's all I kept hearing.
Well, let's talk about that.
Gonna get cooked.
Yeah, that's the thing that where there were some times, he gave up that touchdown to Jerry Jeudy.
They're all gonna get beat.
Yeah. But I was very impressed with his. There was times where I thought he could have had 2 interceptions, but I think just the still trying to figure it out was kind of there. But he still, played for some real good swagger. And when all the matchups that he had with Cooper, from what I saw, he was definitely shutting him down. There was 1 or 2 times where Watson wasn't in connection with Cooper, so you can't put all that on Carson. But still, I mean, to do that against a really good wide receiver, that it's not like they just got done with a tough matchup last week. This is, again, they were preparing for the Cowboys, coming into it, trying to game plan for the offense, everything, and this is kind of what happened in the sense of that defense. I think they did an amazing job. Zimmer did an amazing job. But continuing on with the corners, you had Diggs coming back. How did you like his performance?
Again, he had a pick, right? I mean, it was helped by that old man who's over the hill and can't play, Kendricks. So that was nice. But listen, I thought he did well. They were staying away from him. They were going after Kalen Carson. Kalen Carson could have had 3 INTs. The reason why he was drafted in the 5th round, Dallas had a 3rd round grade, was because of his ball skills. He's not the ball skill player that a Deron Bland is or a Diggs, but some say he has better coverage skills than either of them. So that's where the whole seatbelt comes in. He's in the back seat. He's up in your grill when it comes to covering. Now, he should have had multiple turnovers. He knows it. If he could ever turn that around, you're looking at something special. But at the very least, I thought
think about that debut. If he would have had 2 or 3 picks,
Well, again, the first one should have been a pick 6. So again, we left a lot out there. Again, we're allowed to enjoy the win. Especially when all the naysayers were saying that we were going to get hammered and this and that. No, we did the hammering. It wasn't a perfect performance. I would say other teams like the Eagles, it was just I thought their offense looked good, and they didn't play nowhere near their perfect game. So if we could say that, I would please not like my people to move the goalpost. It's only 1 win. That's all it's worth. And it really doesn't matter.
I really want
now.
Even with the media, as much as I'm seeing this whole thing downplaying, the offense and defense of Cleveland, let's say 4 or 5 games,
right?
where
Deshaun Watson stinks. Now he's going to get better people.
Yeah, well, where are we going to be by that point? It's just, I got to give him. There was times where he was not reading some of the coverages down the field, but at the same time, there was a lot of pressure in his face because.
Again, yes,
there was a lot. They weren't. It wasn't just like 1-on-1 and the guy was getting beat. No, they were scheming this stuff. They were stunting and doing different stuff that were causing them to get open, causing 1-on-1 matchups. So they
haven't shown anything either. That's what's exciting. They literally shown this much of the defensive playbook. There was a couple times where they confused Deshaun Watson, where they both D-Law and Micah shot out into space, did not rush forward, and then he brought pressure and got home with a cornerback. So again, or a linebacker. I love the 3 linebacker set. I got more security stopping the run. There wasn't any time in that game where I felt we were getting gashed like last year.
No,
I'm sorry, and I know our defense was better, but now you're starting to understand. People who don't know and just say, "Oh, your defense isn't going to be as good." I question your football knowledge. If you can get away with having 3 linebackers in the game, now you could. This is where you're
getting pressure with 4 linemen.
Micah lined up. Yes. You could drop the linemen again with the speed of Overshown Phil and the speed of like a Kendricks. You don't need your. Again, you have Micah Parsons. If we were to drop him, right? Okay,
they did a couple of times too. Yeah.
Yes, and a D-Law. That's why we got the interception, right? Who was the one that tipped the ball? Who was the one that tipped the ball?
Parson.
That was Micah Parsons.
Yeah, Parsons with that pressure, he knew he wasn't going to get there. He hit it up in the air. Kendricks gets it. It was beautiful. Great teamwork. It was a team. Yeah.
Again, 1 game, people. Nobody's getting ahead of ourselves, but all the check marks that we were worried about. Guyton, okay, he didn't get killed. I mean, was he the best player on the field? No, but he didn't get killed. Check. He didn't get that killed. Check. BB, check.
We all been through that Chaz Green era. I mean, we all know how bad it can be. Especially if the game starts to get away from you. I don't know if anybody's watched The Replacements, where Keanu Reeves talks about quicksand and how, the more you struggle, the more you try to do better, the worse you do. And it's like sometimes that can be it. Oh, here we go. Mark Hutchinson, sorry. It's not highlighting it over here.
How about those Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Yeah. Sorry about that. I apologize. I always like to put those up there with some sound, which eventually I'm going to get. So I'm upgrading the OBS. I'm loving it.
Don't go there with the Hot Boys twist. Don't do
it. Yeah.
Coles Cowboys, what up? What up? Yeah. Again, you keep it in perspective. It's 1 win, but it's a win that I didn't have. I think I went 7-8 yesterday on my pick. So
I thought
I had a lot of them that I lost last second. So,
well, I thought the offense for Cleveland was going to be able to move the ball. I mean, they do have a good back. It's not like it's a no name. They got three great receivers, a good tight end, an amazing tight end. So to me, there was a recipe that says you have a running quarterback, you should see some success. Offense of ours struggles, and it takes a little bit of time to get going. I should see a little bit of sluggishness. So, realistically, the 24-17 guess that I had us losing by was realistic. But it ended up being like that Giants game from last year where they really took control. Go ahead.
I think the first game of the year, Phil, is literally the hardest game to predict, honestly. And then what'll happen is we'll overcorrect for game 2 because, but that's why it's nice because we didn't have our best game. We had a good probably 2 quarters out of 4, and you saw what happened.
That's
Dak was lights out early on, and then he wasn't bad, but you got to credit Jim Schwartz and that number 1 defense from last year.
Exactly, because
roll over.
We did not score that other touchdown until like way middle of the second quarter. It was like halfway through the second quarter by the time we scored that second one. So it wasn't like the score kind of shows. They were able to kind of feed off of it. That halftime thing was kind of really weird. But where I was worried that they were going to do is Cowboys in the past gives up that touchdown or that score at the end of the half. Then the other team gets that ball. They go down. They score again. And now all of a sudden the game is right there and there's pressure on the offense. So that wasn't something that happened because the defense was able to do their job and really clamp down. There's a lot of 3 and outs. And so that's going to we're going to a little bit understand what this defense is about and what that offense for Cleveland is about here in the next couple of weeks as other teams face them and those stats start to balance out. So now you're going to be like, okay, well, no, it's just everybody that faces that Dallas defense is really struggling, whether it's the personnel, whether it's the scheme, or maybe the combination of both.
Yeah, again, they have a lot of room to grow. What that means. Now we're playing a team, and we'll talk about it next week. But now we got a team that maybe is better than I thought, or they just played to Carolina and they are where we third. I think we don't know.
Yeah, I think they're the team that from last year, where you've seen them last year. They would blow teams out 40-something, and then the other week they would struggle 2 weeks in a row. So we don't know what team is going to show up.
I just want to a little bit. I saw a little while ago when you were talking about it. Christian McCaffrey is out for tonight's game, everybody.
The Madden curse continues.
McCaffrey is out. So, but did you want to discuss, any more about the game? But the details of the Dak Prescott deal are out. If you
good, let's go. I'd love to talk about that a little bit before we hit the
okay, bounce. Yeah. Here we go, people. The Cowboys and quarterback Dak Prescott get a deal done just before the start of the regular season. We've obtained full contract details. Signing bonus, $80 million. Bam. Nice. What do you think about that, everybody? Nice. $80 million. Just to put your name. He got
spread out, and that's good spread out. So that's about $20 million bonus per year. Is that what
he got? $80 million in his account later this afternoon. Earlier this afternoon.
Minus Texas taxes. So, I mean, that's a big chunk. Texas has some big taxes.
Yeah, I don't know how that. I didn't think they had any state income tax. So, I think that's one of the few remaining states that don't have state income tax.
I know mine has sales tax, but we don't have the state one.
Yeah, 2024 base salary. So this year he's making $1.25 million.
Texas.
Huh?
No, they're correcting. Yeah, so there's no tax in the Texas thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what I thought. So, a 2024 base salary. He's this year 1.25 fully guaranteed. 2025 base salary 47.75.
Okay,
fully
so
guaranteed.
the number went down by like 20 almost.
2026 base salary 40. Okay. Guaranteed for injury at signing and fully guaranteed on the 5th day of the 2025 league year. So he gets that 40. Boom. 2027 base salary $45 million. I like what they're doing here. Yeah. Guaranteed for his injury at signing, fully guaranteed 5th day of the 2026 league year. 2028 $55 million. 17 million of which is guaranteed. for injury at signing and fully guaranteed of the 5th day of the 2027 league year. Okay. The deal includes a no trade clause, a no franchise tag clause, a no transition tag clause. It also has four void years from 2029 to 2032. So again, the contract, which had 1 year left at $29 million, has $129 million fully guaranteed at signing. Another $40 million is guaranteed by March 2025.
Okay, so that's how they wiped that away. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. And another $45 million becomes fully guaranteed March 2026. So basically, the Cowboys could, in theory, cut the cord after 2 years, which is what they wanted. They would owe him $40 million in 2026, less the offset, after paying him $129 for 2 seasons. So basically, they're giving him all this cash up front, and his base salary, other than the 1 year, goes down. Mm-hmm. You know, it's actually a nice deal.
It's a good deal for both sides.
As best as you could do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they weren't gonna roll on a lot of stuff.
If Dak takes a deal elsewhere for the league minimum in 2026, the Cowboys would end up paying him nearly $169 million for 2 years. He's not going nowhere after year 2, and nearly $140 for 1 year beyond his current deal. It's more likely the Cowboys will keep Dak through 2027, with a decision to be made in 2028 when his salary is $55 million with a full guarantee of $17. Mind you, he's making $55.4 now. This year, he was. Yeah. So the new money average.
Again, I'm happy with a lot of lump sum of stuff being done this year, just because we have the money there. We're not using it to get a free agent out of nowhere. We need that available for after the season for all that other stuff. So get all that stuff that you have now, use it, and push it out the door. Yep.
Yeah, it's more likely that the Cowboys. I read that the new money average will make Dak the first $60 million per year player, a new money average. He also received the largest signing bonus in league history and the most guarantees ever over a 4 or 5 year extension.
Yeah, David, no trade clause.
Yeah, but again, you really
no franchise clause. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, like the franchise stuff, we don't really worry about because you were never going to franchise it anyway, Phil.
Yeah, because he had already done it twice. I think there was a limit.
It would
be
a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
He'll be due to hit the open market March of 2029.
Yeah, he'd be like 34, 35, 36. Okay.
So no, yeah. So that's both sides gave him more money than probably what they would have liked, but he had the ultimate weapon, which is March. He's a free agent, and once you're a free agent, with the added of void years, some of these teams, maybe the New York Giants, could make him an offer that he couldn't refuse, or the Oakland or the Las Vegas Raiders. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. I know Ultra Cowboys not happy. I know Cowboys 66 disappeared last night while Dallas. I don't understand. We got these guys that are my age, maybe a little older, that have seen Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go where my mind wants to take me. I'm just going to say this. I don't know why anybody would be pissed that Dallas is winning a football game. I don't get it.
They don't want them to have. They've had this ammo of unsuccessful stuff, and they don't want them to be good. They heard from all off season about the media about that talk. They're even backpedaling. A lot of them was talking about how I was talking about where they're going to get their talent and stuff. We all knew they had young talent. We just had to see them perform.
How dare you?
Well, what that gets me is that they were ex-players. They were ex-players. A lot of them were ex-players, so you would think that they would see this game at a whole different level. Like, as much as you want to give him crap, Tom Brady, there was a lot of good points that he made during his broadcast that when he's talking about the talent of some of these guys on the team. But as some of these guys have they played, and then they give these analytics stuff, you're just like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
Yeah, exactly. So, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So Again, we talked about it, but in the end, we got the W. It only counts as one.
And it was a complete game for the whole team. Let's be real. As much as it struggled, a lot of the teams that were struggling, there was a lot of left on the field. You are very correct. There's a lot to improve on because there was a lot of mistakes.
This is a coach's dream. That's what the Eagles were saying. You know, we did great. You know, we got out with a W. You know, again, you know, I'll just end with this when it comes. Well, I'm not going to bring up the Eagles today. I did earlier on my drive home video. So
how dare you?
But,
here we go. Here we go.
Basically,
what the is that?
Yeah, we don't want that.
Oh, okay, cool. I got you. Yeah, that's funny. But yes, basically, we got the W on the road where it was a hostile environment. We're gonna get into it more a little later on my live stream, the channel member Zoom call. I'll be curious to pick little Cowboys Bryan and Thomas Garrett. They were in the building, so I don't know. I'm just excited. So.
Well, yeah, here we go. I appreciate you coming through. I know we didn't talk about the post-game stuff, so we'll get that all situated. And but I want to give you a little bit of time before you jump on your channel and stuff. So I appreciate you coming through, giving us a take of the post-game because I at least want to get that onto the channel. The pre-game, we'll try to do it sometime before the game. So like this week, we'll most likely have to do it Thursday because
Thursday
we're not available this weekend. I have a long, nice, fun weekend ahead of me.
I'm going to Hershey.
Nice,
Pennsylvania. So
I'm gonna go in the middle of Florida to a lake house for the great weekend with for the bachelor party. Yeah.
He's gonna have lions and he's gonna be like we're back. Oh no! Mike Tyson's gonna be hanging out and they're gonna have all kinds of shit going on.
Last night?
They can't trade, but they can't let him go in 2027. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I'll be streaming on Sunday, but I'll be home early Sunday, not early. I'll be home probably about 11 a.m. ish. So I'll be home in time to stream the 1:00 Cowboy game, which is nice. It's a nice early game. Get it out of the way. Yes. So very good. I'm happy, man. I hope everybody's happy. And don't let the haters bring you down.
No,
it's one win. That's all we're talking about.
And even if it was a loss, it would be the same way. Don't get too excited about it.
I feel like, Phil, that, some of these fans, they flex, right? But they were a little concerned about their game, and they wanted the headlines. You can have the headlines, man. I'm not in it for the headlines. I'm in it for just winning and getting better.
Yep.
And it's all about the postseason anyway, isn't it?
Yep.
So let's move it along. Turn the page, baby. Week 2.
Well, I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate everybody else getting this chat going, trying these new features. I'll definitely try to and perfect it a little bit more. And I appreciate all the super chats and everything you guys are doing, man. There was a lot of great support. And if you can support, I have it obviously pinned for Curtis to help out, reach for his unfortunate situation that everybody eventually has to deal with, and it's never ever a good time. You can't prepare, and you can try your best, but sometimes the world doesn't allow it. So if we can help out in any possible way we can, definitely we can. You can also find it on Gametime's Facebook page, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on my live stream tonight at some point. I'll put it up. We really need to help out Curtis. Curtis is a hard-working man. He works at Kroger part-time. He did not have any kind of insurance, like life insurance for his wife. His wife had been dealing with some injuries, but they didn't expect it to turn this fast. She was only 39. They have 2 children. The family is trying to help, but he doesn't have a lot of family. So
anything helps, man. Anything helps.
We need to help out and put her to rest. So anything would be great. $5. I'm sure he would appreciate it. So
click the link. Anyway, he'll give you a lot of the information.
I'm gonna go do a couple things, and I gotta get my stream together. So.
Well, I appreciate everybody coming through.
Maybe a few minutes late, everybody, so just be patient.
It's all good, man. Monday Night Football. Here we go. Week 1, almost around out the books. But one thing I do appreciate you guys doing is not forgetting to do what?
Always ring that bell, people.
Damn right, guys. Take care.
Who are you?
Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil.
What kind of a stupid name is that?
Oh, they let you pick any name you want when you get down there.
And what is your name, sir?
Well, I told you my name, man.
Sir, what's your name?
It's my co-host, Gametime Bryan.
Cool name. Superpowers?
I haven't relaxed. I'm ready for a wild show.
What would you say you do here?
I don't know what it is yet, but it could be a lot of things. So we'll see.
This doesn't make any sense.
Nah, nothing makes sense here, man.
You thinking what I'm thinking, Bart?
Yeah, let's f***ing rage!
Yeah, okay, cool. I don't need the PBS special.
What the fuck is this piece of
Can you say what the f*** did I do last night?